Welcome students. Today we are going to learn the calculation of beta and alpha. So before calculation part, let's know what exactly beta is. So beta is a numerical value that measures the fluctuation of a stock to changes in the overall stock market. So it helps us to know how much movement of stock appreciation or decline of the value in the stock value due to the changes happens in the stock market. So what will be the volatility? So beta measures the responsiveness of a stock's price to change in the overall stock market. So overall stock market, for example, NSE and BSE are highly traded stock market in India. So if NSE is moving for 10%, so how much it is going to affect a particular stock we are holding in NSE. So NSE Nifty to a particular stock returns a pattern develops that shows the stock openness to the market risk. So it helps to calculate, and we come to know that if stock market moves in different percentage decline or increase, and how much our stock will changes the value. So volatility we will come to know. So this helps the investor to decide whether he wants to go for the riskier stock that is highly correlated with the market, that is beta above 1. If our calculated beta is more than 1, then it will be highly risky, but it will give higher return also. But with less volatility one, that is beta below 1. So if we calculated beta will be less than 1, if it is less than 1, then the market, it is called less risky and less volatile also, but return will be also less. So moving further, if we take an example, if a stock's beta value is 1.3, it means theoretically this stock is 30% more volatile than the market. So if stock changes 1%, so it will changes to 30%. So beta calculation is done by regression analysis, which shows security response with that of the market. So we use a regression method to calculate the beta for a particular stock with the stock market. Now, how we exactly this return comes? So by multiplying the beta value of a stock with the expected movement of an index. So the expected change in the value of the stock can be easily determined. If you take an example, if beta is 1.3 and the market is expected to move up by 10%. If the market moves up by 10%, then the stock should move up by 13%. That is 1.3 into the 10% of the market. So this is how we calculate the return of a stock to the market return. So moving further, there are some things we need to know. If we see the one beta is plus 1, okay, 1% change in the market index return causes exactly 1% change in the stock return. So it indicates that the stock moves in tandem with the market. The beta is 0.5, that is plus 0.5, and this is less volatile compared to the market, and 1% change in the market will lead to 0.5% change in the stock which you are holding. Now if beta is plus 2, which indicates high volatile, okay, and what happens here is, so if there is a decline of 10% in the market return, so there will be multiplication of that into 2, so it will give 20% decline in the, or a negative in the stock which you are holding. So this is treated as high volatile. So the stock, we have already discussed that stock with more than one beta value is considered to be the very risky one. Now coming to the fourth one, negative beta value indicates that stock return moves in opposite direction to the market. So here what happens if it is a negative value, so if stock moves by 10% in a positive way, so it will go against it. So the stock will go minus. If market is moving in a minus or a declining stage, 10% decline, it will give opposite direction. So stock will go positive direction in that case. So if the market return declined by 10%, so if you see the example here, a stock with a negative beta of -1 would provide return of 10% if the market return declines by 10% and vice versa. So stock with negative beta resist the decline in the market return, but stocks with negative returns are very rare in the market. It is very not easy to find in the market. So let's proceed to calculation of beta. We have here values for the month of October or particular period. So the first column indicates dates, second column indicates market return in the values, that is not in percentage, we have to calculate here. So if you look at it, the problem given is here he has given the value, he has not given the percentage of return. For that we have to calculate. And second column represent the index return, and the third column, that is Bajaj Auto Y stock value, that represent the values of the stock on that particular date. So to calculate beta, we use the following formula for the particular given problem, that is n into summation xy minus bracket summation x into summation y divided by n into summation x square minus summation x bracket square. And then we use the alpha formula to calculate alpha, y bar minus beta x square. So let's calculate. So before going to the beta calculation, we need to find out, because the values have here given is directly. So here percentage is not given. So to calculate the values, so we use the following formulas. To calculate the stock return, or we can say security return, so use today's price minus yesterday's price divided by yesterday's price into 100. Okay, the same thing if you want to calculate it for market return, that is today's index minus yesterday's index divided by yesterday's index into 100. Now if you look at here the problem, so here if you see uh, 904 is the yesterday's price. So this is yesterday's price. When then 845.75 will become today's price for the calculation for these two dates. That is October 5 will be the beginning, and yesterday's price, October 6 will become today's price. So same case with the stock return, 597 will become yesterday's price, and 570.80 will become today's price. Now using the formula to calculate this, first we will calculate it for market. Okay, so just change the thing. Okay, so if we use here the formula, so first we will calculate it for market return. Okay, so if you put it in a formula, so if you look at market return, so today's market return, that is 845.75 minus, so yesterday's price is 904.95. So divided by yesterday's price, that is 904.9. So into 100. So here we will get the value that is in negative, because yesterday's price is greater than today's price. So after calculating, we will get the value that is minus 6.54. So this is the return we got for the day. If we calculated it for second day, so what happens here is, just I will go back. So here 8 October 7 will become today's price, and October 6 will become yesterday's price. So same thing happens to stock also. So it will become yesterday's price, and this will become today's price. So we have market, we are calculating it for market. So next it will become 874.25 minus 845.75 divided by yesterday's price, that is 845.75 into 100. So we will get the value, that is 3.37. So here we get the positive value, because yesterday's price is lesser than the today's price. Now calculating it for the third, that is nothing but October 8. If we see, so October 8, today's price will become 847.95 minus 874.25 will be yesterday's price. So divided by 874.25 into 100. So if you see here, again, yesterday's price is greater than today's price. So we will get value in negative. So after calculating, we will get the value minus 3.01%. Okay. So this is, we were calculating for market return. Now we will calculate it for the stock return. So make sure that you are practicing, and before watching the video, you note down the problem. That will be better. If you practice it for 2 to 3 times, you will get. So we calculated it for 3 stocks. If we continue calculate it for all the stocks, so we'll get the value for index return here. So we will get the value for index. So 3 days we calculated till here. So if we continuously calculate the same thing, so we'll get the values for all the days for the market return. So adding this all, so we will get minus 7.09 value. Now we will calculate it for stock return. So formula for stock return value is today's price, yesterday's price divided by yesterday's price into 100. Now if you look to the problem that we have here is, so if for stock, I told you that this will become yesterday's price and this will become today's price for calculating on October 6. So taking it down, so this is, so today's price is 570.80 minus 597.80 divided by 597.80 into 100. So we will get the value that is minus 4.52. Now again moving here, so now we have to take today's price. So if you see here, so today's price will become, that is October 7 will become today's price and October 6 will become yesterday's price. So if you see today's price, that is 582.95 minus 570.80 divided by 570.80 into 100. So here we'll get a positive value because today's price is greater than yesterday's price. So today's price is greater than yesterday's price. So after calculating, we will get the value that is 2.13. Now we will calculate it for day 3. So here the today's price will become 559.85 minus 582.95. So divided by 582.95 into 100. So if you see here, again today's price is lesser than the yesterday's price. So after calculating, we will get the value in negative, that is minus 3.96. Okay, so we will continue. If you calculated it for all the stocks, so we will get the values that this column represents the stock return, that's minus 4.52, 2.13, minus 3.96, minus 0.94, and minus 1.71. So continuously calculation, we will get this all values. Now what we have to do is that now after calculating the return of X, index return and index return Y, now we have to square it. That is nothing but X square. That is nothing but squaring the index value. So if we square minus 6.54, we will get 42.77. So if we square 3.37, so we'll get 11.36. Same thing, 3.01. If we square, we'll get 9.9, 9.06. So same thing we'll do for all. So squaring it, so we'll get these all values. Okay. Now what we'll do, we will squaring the values of the stock return that we have calculated. So 4.52, that is in minus square, will become 20.43. So 2.13 square will get 4.54. So minus 3.96 square will get 15.68. And same thing we will do for all. After squaring it all, so we will get this all values. Now we have to sum it up. So adding this all, okay, so we'll get the value that is minus 7.09. That is summation x. And summation y, so we'll get 0.78. So this is the summation y, and this is summation x. This is summation y. So we'll get this value. And after this calculating x square and y square, now we have to go do x into y. So x, this is the x column and this is the y column. Now here we have to multiply x column into y column. So the value is like minus 6.54 into minus 4.52. So we'll get 29.56. So same thing we will do 3.37 into 2.13. So we'll get 7.18. So same thing we will do for all the values. So we'll multiply the x value for a particular date with the y value, and we will get this all the values. And now we will get, after summing up, we will get summation xy is equal to 91.32. Now let's move further. We will put the values in the formula to calculate the beta. So beta indicates n into summation xy minus summation x bracket multiplying the summation y, and n into summation x square minus summation x bracket square. So let's put it in, calculate the beta. So beta is equal to n into summation xy. So n value is 9. So number of days, that is 9 into xy. So xy is that we have already calculated, that is 91.32. So minus summation x into summation y. So summation x value that we have calculated, that is minus 7.09. Okay, into the y value is 0.78. Now divided by, so n into summation x square. So n we know that is 9. So summation x square. So summation x square we have calculated, that is 82.75 minus summation x bracket square. So summation x is minus 7.09 bracket square. So after calculating all the values, so we will get the value as a beta is 1.19. So beta for the security one, that is nothing but Bajaj, is 1.19. If stock moves by 10%, then the market will move by 11.9%. So this is how the market moves forward with the stock market. This is how we calculate it. Now moving further, now we have to calculate the alpha. So we will calculate alpha here. So the formula for alpha is, so alpha is equal to y bar minus beta into X bar. So Y bar is stock return, and X bar is market return. So we have to calculate Y bar. So Y bar is equal to, so we know the value of Y, so that is 0.78 that we have calculated in the table. Okay, I can show you this. So this is the Y value that we have calculated. Okay, so that is 0.78 and divided by number of days, that is 9. So we will get the value that is 0.086. Now we will calculate X bar, that is again we have calculated in the table. So we got the value minus 7.09 divided by number of days, that is 9. So we will get minus 0.79. So this is X bar and this is Y bar. Beta we have already calculated. So let this value, we will put it in formula. So Y bar is 0.086 minus, so beta we calculated, that is 1.19, okay, into the value of X bar, that is minus 0.79. Okay, so if we calculate this, so we'll get the value. So alpha is 1.0. So we calculated the beta and we calculated alpha. So make sure that when the problem is given, so he has given the raw data, we have to convert it into the percentage, then we have to calculate it. So please practice it at home to know it. You can repeat the video, you can just see and you can watch it. So thank you very much.